Lagerfeld's Germanic rigor was softened by his deft use of transparency. He used layers of chiffon, pretty lace and netting in a way that made transparency less like a peep show and more like something that would work in real life.
We'll be there, just give us a ring. We will help you to raise that king. Word to the mother, cause it's the black thing. I'll respect you in the song.
The soundtrack for Lagerfeld shows is always the most modern music. Music which is the equivalent of the inventive use of modern fabrics on what could have been traditional evening wear. It is this mixing of modern with traditional which makes Lagerfeld the designer to beat in Paris.
Combinations, terrible, let's say.
In Paris for Fashion File, I'm Tim Blanks, contributing editor of Toronto Life Fashion magazine. Just a few short hours before the start of Liza Bruce's Spring '93 show, but the atmosphere backstage is remarkably calm. You don't find models, stylists and designers in this kind of serene state at many shows. It's an obvious reflection on Liza and her ability to instill confidence in everyone around her.
What I'm interested in trying to recreate is that sense of glamour. That's the feeling of the clothes, because I do think
Liza Bruce is about as frank as her clothes. Her directness is refreshing because it's from the heart. 14 years ago, she started designing her own collection of swimwear. It was so successful that in 1988, she launched her own ready-to-wear line. Her clothes are unabashedly female. They're a very personal reflection of what she thinks women should be.
I think I consider myself more of a design philosopher, in that I design based on very specific ideas I have about the way that women in particular should dress. I've always felt very strongly that women ought to suit and tie and a white shirt, and they can pretty much go anywhere and feel efficient and dress very quickly. And I felt that women have not had such a uniform, and that it should be a modern one.
Although she was born in the USA, Liza now lives in England. She runs her international company from London, where she draws on the freedom, energy, and spirit of the street. If there's one feeling you get from Liza Bruce, it's that she's looking to the future, and she wants to take all of womankind with her.
You have to be prepared to people that say, hide behind clothing far too much. I think this clothing is not actually for young people. This clothing is for a sophisticated...
She really wants the ease of you and your body to come through, but she wants it to be your image, whatever it is. It's your personality. I mean, once you put on a tight Paris suit, whatever's underneath there's going to show, and that's you.
Your body is your history. You know, I have big hips because I've had 2 children. What am I going to do? Walk around like this, you know, clasping my hips? You know, that's the way I am. And if I don't like myself, I might as well jump off the nearest building.
To me, this clothing is, if you like, it's provocative, which is the word you use, because it's very frank, it's very direct. I find actually that men are very attracted to women who have the courage and to be frank. And so that's why I don't like the word sexy, because sexy to me implies some sort of deviousness, and this is what I'm against. What is provocative? This is what we want to discover, actually. You know, I think it's something we're just beginning to find out about.
Hello, Canada. Hello, Canada. Yeah.
Are you surprised there's a bit of anxiety in Keith Varty and Alan Cleaver's voices? They're just moments away from the debut of their spring collection. The dramatic earthy makeup, the straight, hippie-inspired hair, and the 30 models I've hired to present the show indicate a change of mood is in the air.
The model factor doesn't seem to be as present.
It's on the way out.
Why?
Because it's not important. We want to see fresh faces. We preferred this time to take say 31 girls who obviously cost less than the supermodels, but to have lots of girls in show, fresh. You know, even if they trip up, they look, you know, but they look pretty.
There's a changing of the guard in fashion. At the Spring '93 shows, we were witnessing the twilight of the supermodel era. 1 year ago at Biblos, every $10,000 a day girl was on hand to present the show, but not this time out. High-powered, oversexed glamour is gone. The look for Spring '93 is innocent, young, and non-threatening.
I mean, in fashion, you must admit, up until now, has been almost aggressive. Thinking of certain designers, even in Milan, with like real sort of aggressive clothes. That's finished. I think it's going to become much softer, much a new kind of, a new sweetness, a new innocence. And so the girls will change naturally. It's going to be like a new innocence, a new softness, and this kind of like, this sweet look, you know, like girls that look down, you know, like Twiggy was in the 60s.
The new innocence was the motif of Biblos Spring '93, but the collection was also a melting pot of ideas. This collection is geared for the young, mobile, jet-setting crowd who want to travel light. Biblos is as much about the spirit of America as it is about the mystique of Bombay. Clothes with global appeal are the Biblos trademark, and that's how Keith Varty and Alan Cleaver have made their mark.
It was the melting pot of ideas, you know, it was all those mystical, magical...
You got to remember the next generation, you know. I travel, but I don't travel like the kids of today.
People want, you know, a bit of excitement, they want to feel... You want to feel a bit of... You feel it, you know what I mean? Like, I think people have had enough with, like, all this classic dressing. And, you know, we've been through this thing with the Gap dressing as well, which was great. But I think people are feeling, oh, well, I'm getting a bit tired now of the jean shirt and the cardigan and the jacket and whatever. They want something different.
In Milan for Fashion File, I'm Tim Blanks, contributing editor of Toronto Life Fashion magazine.
What other girls are here? Any other girls?
Meet the busiest, the most indie.
I have after this?
Glamour nights.
Are you crazy?
You wanted to go to Polynesia.
He's Orbey, a 34-year-old Cuban-born stylist, is known in the business as the
Superstar. He's very open, you understand? He listens to you, he sees what you like, he knows how we look, he knows us all.
He's just brilliant,
Because you bring in...
But it's painful.
Painful.
And he's like the most painful hairdresser, I have to say, but you know that when if you just grit your teeth and bear it, it's going to look great. But we suffer for fashion, you know.
Carlos, mira, yo puse el pedazo aquí, le hice tengo una trenza, now I'm taking this, and you get it with and I'm braiding, you know, like this. They're all very different, like when they look, like this hippie thing, for instance, I hate when they look like poor. Don't look at them. I do very American. You know how America's a little glossy and richer? We don't have a full...
Have we exhausted absolutely every look?
No, not every look. The girls are very powerful these days. You know, yeah.
Which ones in particular?
Well, Linda, Naomi, Christy. Christy's very important because Christy seems to be, you know, they love her. And so, if the girls feel comfortable with the hairdresser, you know, it's much easier to work with them and change them.
Yeah.
Now we don't do this part.
I have to.
No.
It looks stupid. It looks
Just wait a minute, because I can do this.
It does look like it's real.
Just add a different
It looks
piece
like I have a
here.
wig on and I don't.
You can just add another piece to it if you want.
Do you have another little lighter? This one blonde for me. What about that piece? That one. Orbe?
So we cut a little.
Like a tongue.
Okay? I'll do the chunk on this.